Okay, it's been 10 months ownership of the Haibike since I got it. I've done roughly 760 miles on it, and I've made quite a few changes, pretty much for myself. First off, was getting, when I was going off-road, quite a lot of the chain skipping off the chain ring and getting trapped in between the chain ring and the main body of the bike. And I think it was just because of the stock derailleur. It just was allowing the chain to slap about and come off when you're going over rough terrain. So I did a bit of research and found that you could actually get derailleurs that had a clutch mechanism which kept the chain a bit tighter, so save it from slapping about. And another thing was to get a narrow wide chain ring. That sounds easy, but apparently for Haibike it's not an easy thing, considering I waited about 5 months to get a chain ring from Haibike, and it ended up being the wrong type because the splines were different. So I had to do a little bit of research and came across actually what the best way to do was to actually get a spider, which is the main center hub, and then actually get a chain ring to fit that, which is apparently a 104 distance between here to here, and it fitted. And I actually got that fairly quickly, just doing a little bit of research on my own, but it took a while because I even tried to get bike specialists and they were saying it's very difficult to get. Although I did change the derailleur for a clutch derailleur, like I said, but I then had to change the cassette because the cassette was only 9 speed, and I could the minimum I could get was a 10 speed that actually had a clutch. So it ended up being quite an upgrade, because I think in total it probably cost about, including fitting, because I didn't feel confident in fitting the cassette, it probably cost, including parts and the chain ring, about £300. So it's quite a lot, but it's made a massive difference. The chain now doesn't come off, or hasn't come off, since I've upgraded to both the derailleur and the chain ring, so that's a plus. I hear a lot of guys going on about the suspension, saying it's quite weak. I probably, in my limited knowledge as using mountain bikes, I haven't found it to be a problem for me. I could upgrade, and I may upgrade if I find it's been a problem once maybe the shocks are past their best. I'm under no illusion that the shocks that are on it are of a cheap make, because the derailleur was about the cheapest you could get apparently. So I've changed that out, so that's fine. Wheels and tyres, I wanted to go tubeless but couldn't, because the rims have got a seam in them, they're joined, so apparently you can't go tubeless. So what I did do in the end is I got what's is called inserts, Taurus inserts, which is basically a foam rubber insert that goes inside the tyre, and it forms a protective layer between the tube and the tyre should you have any punctures. Although, having said that, when I had the original tyres on, I had never got a puncture, but I quickly wore out the back tyre by using the bike quite a lot on the tarmac. So I decided to change out both tyres for these Maxxis Minions, thinking I'd get a little bit more grip on the rough stuff, which I do, but there's a bit of a trade-off there because it's not so great on the road, and at the moment I seem to be primarily using it on the road, just because the weather hasn't been great and I'm a bit of a soft arse. So I upgraded both the tyres, and I put the Taurus inner tubes, and they seem to be fine. They weren't difficult to fit in my mind. Apparently quite a lot of people have said they've had problems. I personally haven't. It wasn't, the tyres weren't a problem to get off the bead, and pumping them up, it was all easy. So I didn't find any problems, but I have heard people who have had. One more thing, yes, I upgraded the seat. It's maybe not the best seat possible, and it doesn't look right, but it's certainly a lot comfier on my arse, and for that respect, I'm happy with that. All in all, I would say the Haibike Hardseven 5 is actually quite a good entry bike. I think I made the right decision in buying it. I've had no problems with the motor. I'm getting around 40 miles on a charge, and I'm normally sitting on it in tour. I haven't been often in mountain bike. I certainly haven't been on eco much, but sitting on tour, I generally get about 40 miles, and that's down to 1 bar left. I haven't tested it to its full potential. I probably could get maybe 50 miles. I don't know. I'll have to try it at some point, but I don't fancy the prospect of having to cycle the bike back under its normal power, because it's quite a heavy bike. That's it, guys. If you've got any questions about the upgrades I made and the parts, I can certainly put that on for you. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot.